147 pounds does he weigh. On the other end of the spectrum is Steve Subia, the right guard, 368 pounds, and he told me that last year he played it above 400 and he lost weight. They swing it out. It is caught by Jenkins, the man we just talked about. And Jenkins picks up another good chunk of real estate. Down gain of 11. Taking a look at the North Texas Mean Green defense. Evan Cardwell. Second down at 5. Pierce under center. Behind him is Higgins, and the give is to Higgins. Charging forward, across the 15, close to the first down mark. Remember, they do have 2 running backs that we'll be talking about for the Aggies all evening long. Higgins alternates time with Tony Joseph, who's a redshirt freshman. We'll see a lot of him. He has 4 100-yard games on the season.
They got to work hard against Booger Kennedy. Oh, inside. He's a coke machine with arms and legs. 5'8", 315 pounds. He says 312. I think that was before the pregame meal.
They do get enough yardage for a first down, and a fresh set of downs inside the 15-yard line. Now, Booger Kennedy, last year, all he did was be named the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year. Not Defensive Player of the Year, but the entire conference's Player of the Year, offense or defense. And that was as a junior. He's considered to be the best defender to come out of North Texas.
He's a good player.
Since Joe Green and Cedric Hardiman doing their work on that defensive line in the 60s for Mean Green. Give up the gut. This is the first time things don't go the way the Higgins was brought down rudely behind the line of scrimmage, but a flag does fly.
I think they tried to hold the Booger right on that play, and they got caught.
The preliminary signal says it is against the Aggies. Let's see what Jeff Roberson has to say.
Holding. The offense, 10-yard penalty from the Pursuit. We'll replay first down.
We're going to watch Booger here again, the middle guard, and they just take him down. He's so quick, busting through. Mac Brown, who played against Booger Kennedy in North Texas, said you can't block him with one man. That's a respected football coach around the country that knows this is a good football player.
They take the penalty, so it's first down at 20. Pierce throws and completes the pass. Pass caught by Jenkins again. And the senior from Richmond, California, picks up basically what they lost.
You know, you talked about Buck Pierce being a good thrower and percentage-wise, but he has completed 50 of 70 here at home, and he's especially hot when he plays here in Las Cruces. And he really made a good throw there to Jenkins.
So it's second down and 11. Pierce, you see those numbers. He's really stepped up as the guy who he was alternating with, Paul Dombrowski, was hurt about 3 weeks ago. Pass is not good at all, and it's intercepted. Jeremy Pearl comes on and squeezes the football. So the first mistake of the game is made by the Aggies. Buck Pierce throwing it into the arms of the Mean Green.
I think it was a broken route by Ron Shea Jenkins. I think he was supposed to go outside, and he sat down.
So the first turnover of the game goes to the Mean Green. Buck Pierce hands it off to Jeremy Pearl. When we come back, North Texas led their second drive of the game. What the weather situation is like for the players.
Well, Eric, the wind is deceptively nasty. Mike was definitely correct in stating it will be a factor. I talked to both coaching staffs, and they said the wind won't change their play calling, but they're certainly worried that it affects their kicking game. I talked to the North Texas kickers. They said there's nothing we can do. But otherwise, we just got to bear with it, guys.
Well, they can keep it on the ground and make something happen that way. Then North Texas will be in business. But a first down run by Cobbs goes nowhere.
Eric, Patrick Cobbs is not only a great back, but he's a great individual. Last week he had 249 yards, and Daryl Dickey, with 14 minutes to go in the game, went to Patrick Cobbs and said, Patrick, you can break the record, you can decide for yourself. He said, Coach, let the other guys play. They deserve to play. They practice like I do. That's really a nice gesture.
Tremendous story. Just a junior as it comes to Oklahoma. Second down, they go to the skies. Pass complete. Johnny Quinn making his own story, getting down across the 50-yard line. And Quinn has really come on as a redshirt freshman. Finally brought down by Tim Patrick, but not before a gain of 30 yards.
Yeah, that's Johnny Quinn's 30th pass reception. Missed tackle by Spencer Moore. Another missed tackle. And all of a sudden, North Texas is out of that hole they were in.
As a redshirt freshman, all Johnny Quinn is doing is averaging over 21 yards per catch, now on 30 catches. Not bad at all. On the 48-yard line. Back to the ground, and Cobbs with a huge chunk of real estate. Heading for the end zone, and Cobbs just shy. Oh, my. Brought down by the shoot-tops at the 1-yard line. Dominique Jacobs just tripped him up. What a supreme sprint for Cobbs.
Yeah, Patrick Cobbs shows such quickness when he gets into the secondary here. Good blocking by the offensive line. Watch him get in the secondary now and chugging and churning, and getting close to that end zone, 1-yard line.
The last two plays have totaled 77 yards for the Mean Green. Down to the 1-yard line. Cobbs still in the game. Cobbs takes it right up the gut, and I don't think he's going to get there. No signal yet. They do keep him out, at least for the time being.
I go back to the interception because Tony Samuels, before the ball game, was standing there in the locker room talking to him. He said the one thing is just hurt us so much this year. We've had injuries, but we turned the ball over. They had a chance to go in and get the lead. Now they're back on their own 1-yard line trying to hold them out.
Cobbs again looking for the end zone, and again he is denied. Brought down by Jimmy Cottrell, the middle linebacker. Normally getting in the end zone, not that big of a problem for Patrick Cobbs. He has 16 rushing touchdowns on the year, and he has 18 overall. But in his first two cracks, the first and goal and second and goal, he has been on the outside looking in.
A lot of teams like to go over the top of the tailback right here. Let's see if Patrick Cobbs can go airborne.
First 9 plays of the game, Cobbs has carried the ball on 7 of them. Will they make it 8? They do indeed hand it off to their star tailback, and Cobbs, no signal yet except for from the Mean Green.
I don't think he got in again.
Again, he is denied. Matt Greibel again with his nose in there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and a decision for Daryl Dickey.
Patrick Cobbs tried to go airborne right here, but as he starts to go up, he gets hit and can't get elevated. Greibel, number 2, made the play.
Well, they are indeed going to go for it. A little rolling of the dice early on in this contest by Daryl Dickey and his offensive coordinator, Ramon Flanagan. Hall gives Cobbs in there. Finally, after 4 cracks, Patrick Cobbs reaches the end zone, give him a 1-yard touchdown. Not going to do much for his average, but he'll take the score.
No, that's why he's a good back, though. That was meant to hit up inside. He skated outside when he saw everything stopped up right there, and so he made the move to get outside.
Touchdown number 19 on the season for the leader in scoring per game in Division 1A. Extra point, up and good, no problem. And the North Texas Mean Green, led by Patrick Cobbs, take the first advantage of the game. They're on top 7-0. See if the Aggies can answer when we return here on ESPN 2.
It's not your job.
College Football Tuesday, brought to you by Seiko. You can tell more about a person by the watch they wear than anything else. Seiko Arctura Kinetic. And by Acura. Experience the performance today at your local Acura dealer.
Now Patrick Cobbs very persistent, knocking on that door at the goal line. Finally got in on his 4th crack from 1 yard out. Patrick Cobbs now with 19 touchdowns on the year, 17 of them coming via the ground. It's 63 yards in the drive that began on the 7-yard line for the Mean Green. So the Aggies will try and get up off the deck. They thought they were just inches away from their own score before throwing an interception and having the Mean Green come all the way down and stick it in the end zone. Ronche Jenkins bottle up, brought down before he can get to the 20-yard line after a gain of 5.
Here's why it's tough to run inside on the goal line, because these defensive linemen slant inside. They pinch. And all of a sudden, Claiborne, the fullback, makes a block, and all of a sudden, Cobbs just skates outside. I don't think he makes it if he stays inside there. He had to make that move.
Fairly gutsy call on 4th down early in this game. After having no success the first 3 times, finally, Cobbs gets in there, and there are smiles on the bench of the Mean Green. Buck Pierce back in under center after throwing the interception his last toss. Hands it off right up the gut. Eric Higgins with room to run. The kid from Lexington, Kentucky, busted out to the 45. They're going to say he was down before he lost control of the football. Jonas Buckles with a touchdown-saving tackle.
Kendall Blackburn, one of the assistant coaches for the Aggies, told me that Eric Higgins is banged up. His shoulder, his knee, his ankle. He got 41 carries 3 weeks ago against Louisiana Monroe. Last 2 weeks, only 2 carries. He's been hurt, but he is a senior, and he's going to play in this final football game.
Eric Higgins is prone to the spectacular. Earlier this year, he had a 218-yard rushing game against Louisiana Monroe. This time, he's upended, literally, feet taken out from underneath him by Brandon Kennedy. Well, don't forget on Thanksgiving Day, it's not just turkey anymore. It's also College Football Thursday, presented by Panasonic. Number 19, Ole Miss taking on Mississippi State. Eli Manning puts the Rebels into the Egg Bowl. Thrown for over 3,000 yards on the season to go along with 24 touchdowns. Ole Miss 6-1 in the SEC West, tied on top of that division with LSU. And that'll be Jackie Sherrill's final game on the sidelines in Starkville. He's leaving the Bulldogs. On the rollout, Pierce tosses it out. Higgins on the move, makes a man miss, and squirts out to the 40-yard line. Making something out of nothing right there for Higgins.
This is an option football team. Tony Samuels came from the program in Nebraska. They run the option. But the problem with the quarterbacks, Buck Pierce, the starting quarterback, has had 2 concussions this year. So they don't want him to take a lot of hits like that. They want him to pitch the ball a little sooner. Paul Dombrowski, the backup quarterback, has an injured knee.
Buck Pierce had to sit out parts of games against Middle Tennessee and Utah State with those concussions. Goes back to the skies the first time since his interception, and it is complete to Ronche Jenkins. A little spitfire, makes the catch and goes out of bounds. Gain of 12. It'll be 1st down and 10. There's Dombrowski, the guy that we were talking about. He and Pierce were splitting snaps at the beginning of the season after his solid freshman year last year when he was named the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year. But that kneecap injury has him on the sidelines unless they really need him.
He has a cracked kneecap, and Tony Samuel said he may play a few plays.
We shall see. Ball now on the 28-yard line, and they go up the gut. This time it's Tony Joseph getting the opportunity. And he's brought down after a nominal gain of 4, call it 2nd and 6.
With Higgins down, Tony Joseph has become the guy that they need. He leads the Aggies in rushing with 707 yards. He gives them a 1-2 punch with Higgins. Pretty good backs.
Joseph with 2 touchdowns during his redshirt freshman year. There's Higgins still on the sideline. Senior from Lexington, Kentucky, in his final collegiate game.
Maybe a bubble screen right here.
Pierce takes something to the left side, comes back the other way. They do set up the screen, and on the move, heading down is Tony Bostic. Bostic with a good catch and run. Gets it close to the 10-yard line. They're going to say he's at the 12.
Well, when you have Higgins and Joseph both on the sidelines, you figure they're going to throw the football. They faked the bubble screen, came back to the screen to the backside. Bostic makes the play and a 1st down. Now they have to cash in. They got their check down here, but they got to get the money from the bank.
We shall see what happens. Last time they were down here, the check bounced. Buck Pierce threw an interception to Jeremy Pearl. Higgins thought he had a seam, squirts forward, but Brandon Kennedy knocks him down. We're in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Eric Collins, Mike Gottfried, Heather Cox at Aggie Memorial Stadium. This is the first time that national television has ever come to this neck of the woods for a collegiate football game. This is the first Sun Belt regular season game ever televised nationally. And well, you got to be happy for these folks.
I'm a part of a first.
That's right.
I like that.
Tony Samuel knows exactly what this means to his program. He's the man who's got a tremendous resume, of course, a playing career at Nebraska, and he's trying to put this program on the map. Nationally televised games mean a lot to your program. Buck Pierce on the keeper. Picks up a couple of yards before Chris Hurd knocks him down. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 6.
Every time he carries the football, Tony Samuels and his coaching staff over there are a little bit concerned because 2 concussions, 1 more, he's out of there.
Buck Pierce, that's just the way that he plays. He's a guy who's going to stick his nose in there, try and make something happen. Not a huge guy, just 6 feet 1 inches tall. But he's been an effective quarterback this season. On 3rd down, runs out of time and runs into a tackler. Tommy Harrison brings him down, and it'll bring up a 4th down. And I believe they're going to have to bring on the kicking team. Even though they are inside the 10-yard line, I don't think they want to take too many chances and just get something on the board.
No, they botched that opportunity. 2 plays there where Buck Pierce could not throw the football. But you got to get some points here. Tony Samuels knows that North Texas, Darrell Dickey, very solid football team. You got to keep pace with them.
So here comes the field goal unit. It's Dario Aguenaga from 22 yards out, the senior from Tijuana. And they fake the field goal. Right up the gut go the Aggies, and they're going to have enough for a 1st down. It's Carl Scafidi who picks up the 1st down on a fake.
I like the call. You got 3 wins. You're not going bowling. You're not going to go to the BCS. You're not going to the national championship. That's a great call by Tony Samuel and his staff to pick up that 1st down. And you send a message to your football team. This game is important. We're going to do whatever it takes to win this game against the team that's the champions in our league.
And it energizes the crowd early on. 1st and goal, ball on the 2-yard line. Right up the gut, Higgins is stuffed. A whole bunch of mean green defenders greet him with bad intentions. Cody Spencer is one credited with the tackle.
And again, when you get down in goal line offense and defense, the team that gets the lowest leverage wins. When you get your defensive linemen lower than those offensive linemen, you're going to win every time.
That's easy for Booger Kennedy to get lower. He's just 5 feet 8 inches tall. Higgins again up the middle, and this time
I'll tell you one thing about the Sun Belt officials. You're going to get in there for them to give you a touchdown.
They take a while to let you know what's going on. I thought he had it in there. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the half-inch line.
Well,
Tony
I thought
Samuel.
he was in too. Tony's saying, hey, what have we got to do to get him in there? As close as this football is, I'm not sure I wouldn't quarterback sneak this in. I would not take this ball off the line of scrimmage.
This is now the 13th play of the drive.
And you're looking at, well, also when you got a Coke machine in the middle there, you know, it's hard to run.
And they do indeed sneak it, and Buck Pierce gets across the goal line for 6. Tony Samuel breathes a sigh of relief as his team is on the board.
I like the call, though. Sometimes you get in a situation like this and you go by the book. You got to throw the book out when you're 3 and 8. Book hadn't worked.
They didn't read the book, obviously. Extra point will tie this game up with 35 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. Coming back out onto the field is Dario Aguenaga, and this time he actually does kick the football, and he kicks it through the upright. And we're all tied up, 7 apiece with 35 seconds remaining. Tony Samuel and his crew with 7 points to tie this game up. Well, coming up, we will hear from New Mexico State tight end Alex Davis. We are following parts of his last days as a college football player. We'll find out what he feels like as he prepares for his last game That is coming up.
How's the offensive line coming?
Well, it's going to take some time. Oh, I'm up.
It's only the only issue.
Had a lot of guys graduate, right? And still got holes to fill. And this is the SEC. I mean, everybody's got talent. You know, it's just.
When College Game Day's on campus, you got to step it up.
Anyway, I think
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, 10:30 Saturday mornings on ESPN.
Frodo Baggins is my name, and this is Samwise Gamgee.
Your bodyguard?
This Gardner.
The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, premieres in December on Stars.
The battle for Middle-earth is about to begin.
To celebrate, we're giving away an exclusive The Lord of the Rings adventure trip. We'll fly one winner and a guest to New Zealand to visit the country where the movie was filmed. If you already subscribe to the Stars Super PAC, you'll automatically be entered into our random drawing. If you don't, there's never been a better time to subscribe. Call 1-800-333-DISH and ask for the Stars Super PAC. The Stars Super PAC from Dish Network is your ticket to adventure 24 hours a day. The Stars Super PAC includes 8 great movie channels with more than 400 different movies each month, all uncut and commercial-free. And you get them all for $11.99 or less a month. For your chance to win the Lord of the Rings adventure trip, call 1-800-333-DISH and ask for the Stars Super PAC.
Just
It's joining the real world. It's not fun and games anymore. It's going out, getting a job, and supporting myself. No more checks from Dad on the first of every month, so it'll be an experience, and I look forward to moving on with my life. I'm excited about the future. It's just great that they get to be a part of it, the last game of my career, because they've been behind me the entire time, and you know, I just hope that we get to end it on a positive note, and we just all have a good feeling about it. Like one of the guys said, I've been thinking about this 4 years, and I'm up here and I don't know what to say. And it's just, it's another signal that the end is near.
Alex Davis has started 43 consecutive games for the New Mexico State Aggies. We will be following his final day and a half of his college football career throughout this entire game. A lot of interesting thoughts. And it's fun to watch Mr. Davis as he lets us into his life over the next couple of hours. Well, bringing it up from deep in the end zone is Kevin Moore, and it turns out to be a great decision. Moore across the 45, deep into Aggie territory, a great run back. I wondered about the decision when he caught it about 5 yards deep, but he must have seen something, Mike.
Yeah, he did a good job. He got some good blocks right here. You're going to watch it. I thought I saw one block in the back right there to the right, but didn't get called. But the coverage was not good for New Mexico State.
Officially, we're calling it a 57-yard return from Moore, the redshirt freshman from Houston, Texas. Moore has played some on offense. He does have 3 touchdowns on the year, so he knows what to do when he has the football in his hands. Scott Hall, back end quarterback for the Mean Green, hands it off, gives it to his main man, Patrick Cobbs, and Cobbs gets a couple before he's brought down by Dominic Jacobs.
Yep. I want to go back to the fake field goal. Brandon Booger Kennedy's not ready right there. He's he's figuring this field goal, and he's taking his time. He gets doubled up right there, and that's where the hole was to pick up the first down. You always got to be ready. You always got to be ready for the unexpected. He was just getting in a stance, but he's a little slow.
Well, the final moments of the first quarter have ticked down, and we are now ready for quarter number 2. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we will continue with more Sun Belt Conference football. The Mean Green on the run.
ESPN HD. Call your cable operator or satellite provider today.
I'm gonna wrap myself in paper, I'm gonna dab myself with glue, stick some stamps on the top of my head, I'm gonna mail myself to you. tiny in a little red string. I'm gonna tie blue ribbons too. Climb up into my mailbox and I'm gonna mail myself to you.
This holiday season, no one will work harder or go farther to keep us all connected.
If only the world were as race-inspired. The 6-speed, 200 horsepower Acura RSX Type S.
The one and only Docker Stain Defender.
Red Faction, rated M for mature. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Teen Stealth Action, rated T for teen. Now on N-Gage.
North Texas 7, New Mexico State 7. North Texas riding a 17-game conference winning streak, and no, they are no longer North Texas State. They stopped being North Texas State back in 1987. So for 16 years, people have still been making that mistake.
Must be a ghost behind that sign. I don't see anybody there.
Second down and 5. Scott Hall in the rollout. Pressured, throws high. And the ball is off the hands of the intended receiver, Justin Claiborne. Well, time for ESPN2 Game Track. Well, it's been all Patrick Cobbs as advertised. He has 67 yards on the ground. Also has lone touchdown from Mean Green after trying 4 consecutive times on first and goal for the one. A fake field goal by the Aggies set up this 1-yard touchdown run by Buck Pierce, and that's where we stand. After 15 minutes of play, it is a 7-7 tie. North Texas trying to keep on keeping on. They've won 7 consecutive games this season to go along with that 17-game conference winning streak. Third down and 5. Big play early on. Heading one way is Patrick Cobbs, but it's the wrong way as he's brought down 2 yards shy of the first down. Glover and Dominique Jacobs combined to corral him.
Very good cutting back in Patrick Cobbs. When he sees that he doesn't have anything inside, he skates the outside right away. That's a pretty good move by a very good back. Here's what I'm talking about. He sees the backside. He has very good vision to pick the hole where he wants to go to.
Well, they're going to try a long field goal. This is going to be a 52-yard bomb if they can make it happen. It's Nick Basil-Dua who comes up and misses the field goal from 52. Nick thought he had a chance, but in the end, Daryl Dickey will come up empty, and Tony Samuel still excited because his team is right in it with the best of the Sun Belt Conference. A 7-7 tie when we return to Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Harmon will try to squib it, and he does. The Bears have to get out of bounds. Rogers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rogers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone. Will it count? The Bears have scored. I have never seen anything like it.
In life, some things just shouldn't change. Your fingerprints, your retina, your very DNA. So why change your wireless phone number just because you changed services?
Now you don't have to. Come to Radio Shack to keep your wireless number and get your choice of coverage. Just bring in your current wireless bill, and with a 2-year agreement, you can pick a free Nokia color screen phone or $79.99 Samsung camera phone, and we'll transfer your number.
7,000 neighborhood stores and 30,000 helpful associates. Radio Shack.
I create. 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 I create believers, nightmares, posters, truth. I create with freestyle. Freestyle.
NBA Live 2004 with freestyle. Ready for everyone. What do you create? EA Sports. It's in the game.
We're gonna get him today, baby. Hey, oh, oh, eat. Oh, my 3-year-old's got more teeth than you. Oh.
That's a stop.
Don't make me drop my glove. Ow!
When I'm not worried about the pain, I can play my game. New Tylenol 8-Hour relieves muscle pain fast and lasts all day.
What's that noise? What noise?
New Tylenol 8-Hour, because not playing is not an option. Are you a Tylenol sore winner? Log on to ESPN.com and find out.
Welcome back to Las Cruces, New Mexico. North Texas cannot take advantage of Kevin Moore's 57-yard kickoff return. They have to give the ball up. And the Aggies will have the ball. 1st and 10, ball in the 35. Pierce with the play fake. Tosses it out. And the pass is complete. Alex Davis, man we've been talking about, makes the catch. And with more on North Texas and its history, let's go down to Heather Cox.
Eric, I think the biggest question I've been asked all week is why Mean Green? Well, they earned the nickname in the late 60s as a moniker for the defense. It was inspired by their standout defensive end and NFL Hall of Famer Joe Green. And since then, the team has since earned the nickname, and almost all the school sports teams have followed suit, and they've kept that Mean Green defensive dominance alive. They're #1 in the conference in scoring defense.
Eric Higgins picks up about 6 yards on 1st down, 2nd and 4.
I'm going to give you a lesson here.
Okay.
Graduates, North Texas. Mean Joe Green, Lamar Hunt's wife, Norma. That's big. Abner Haynes, Phyllis George.
Phyllis George, sure.
Pat Boone, white sport coat and pink.
The crooner,
carnation.
sure.
Yeah, you know
the patriarch of the Boone family,
Pat
Debbie
Boone's
Boone.
one of the greatest. Roy Orbison, Pretty Woman, and the most important, Dave Barnett.
ESPN Zone. Sure.
So we got Dave Barnett in there.
2nd down. Call it 5 now. They give to Higgins. A little stutter step in the middle of the line. Doesn't do him much good. He's dropped down at the midfield stripe. Let's take a look at those famous graduates. We didn't mention Stone Cold Steve Austin, nor did we mention our guy, life strategist, Dr. Phil. There's the bottom of your screen. He's the one who's on Oprah Winfrey. He's got his own show. He's
Never
syndicated. He tells you how to live your life.
I know this.
He learned it in Denton, Texas.
That's a big one for me, Pat Boone. Those white bucks, and he could sing.
Football-wise, there have been some pretty good players. Beasley Reese played here. Now holds a microphone, works in the broadcasting industry. Eric Pegram, 1,000-yard rusher a couple of years ago for the Atlanta Falcons. 3rd and 7 now. On the loose from the Mean Green, and it forces a pass before it's time. Pass hits the back of a lineman. Intended for Alex Davis on the screen, but quite simply, Buck Pierce didn't have enough time, but a flag is down on the field.
But Booger's complaining to the official. He said he hit the lineman with the ball, and that should be a penalty. Now, Booger's not only a good defensive lineman, but he's a coach, too, on the field. You got to be tough with a nickname Booger.
I think he likes being called Booger.
Yeah, he does. But Booger McFarland, LSU, he played a couple years ago. Now he's playing at pros. He's tough. This guy, nicknamed Booger, he's tough.
Intentional grounding in the offense. The penalty is loss of down at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
The officials would have caught that anyway, but the Booger did bring it to their attention. Too much pressure. They didn't block there. See, he hit right in Nick Cole's backside.
So Booger Kennedy will head to the sidelines.
He's officiating, he's playing, he's coaching, he's doing it all.
Here comes the punt team for the Aggies. Coming on to kick it away. That's Stephen Smith, junior out of Duncanville, Texas. He just got the punting job a couple of weeks ago. Wrested it away from Brad Evans, who had been the man with the powerful right leg. Johnny Quinn is deep to return the kick for the Mean Green. It's a high, lazy kick, calling for the fair catch as Quinn. Now he jumps away from it. Ball's going to scoop down inside the 25-yard line, close to the 20, before it's downed. And that is where the Mean Green will take over the football after a 41-yard punt by Steve Smith.
In a country far from his own, a soldier will look into the heart of his enemy.
What do you want from me? What do you want for yourself?
And find a way of life.
Honor is everything.
Worth dying for. Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai. Rated R. Starts December 5th.
GTO is coming. Fuel for the soul.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person. That's Allstate stand. Are you in good hands?
ESPN Pay-Per-View presents the 2003 K1 World Championship, December 6th. To order, call your cable company, DirecTV or Dish Network.
ESPN2's College Football Tuesday. Brought to you by Warner Brothers' new motion picture, The Last Samurai. In theaters everywhere starting Friday, December 5th. And by Pontiac. Vote for this week's ultimate Pontiac high-performance play at ESPN.com/Pontiac.
Welcome back to Aggie Memorial Stadium. This is tucked in between the Oregon Mountains and the Rio Grande. Glorious neck of the woods here in southern New Mexico. The very first nationally televised game ever, football-wise.
This is a beautiful place right here. I can see why Tony Samuels feels like he can recruit to this college in Sydney.
45 miles due west of El Paso, Texas. Right up the gut, Patrick Cobbs with the carry. And don't forget, folks, that Feast Week presented by eBay continues with the preseason NIT semifinals, Utah at Texas Tech. 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2. Bobby Knight's Red Raiders against the Utes of Rick Majerus. And then later on, Georgia Tech at UConn at 9:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Emeka Okafor off to a strong start. 23 points in his first game against Sacred Heart. This time a little bit more difficult competition. When Georgia Tech comes to calling. Second down at 7. Scott Hall fakes the run action, and instead he wants to throw for it. Plenty of time. Finally, he's brought down at the 20-yard line by Chris Snead, but he had all day to throw that football.
Yeah, Tony Samuel has to feel good about the way his defense is playing. Right now, they're against a very good offense in North Texas that averages a lot of points, 29 points a game. They're shutting them down on the run. They're shutting them down in the passing game, and they're not giving up the big play. They gave up the one big play to Patrick Cobbs.
Now, Cobbs had a run of 47 yards, but besides that, he has just 26 yards on 11 carries. So they've done a good job of bottling up the leading runner in the entire country. And this time, Cobbs, again, is bottled up. It's a third down and long, and he picks up a couple, but not nearly enough. Aubrey Turisme brings him down. Only the rushing able to make a good play during the run game.
Turisme is a very good football player. Here you see the top rushers. Michael Bernard Turner from Northern Illinois. Joe Novak's team ended up the season 10-2. Boston College, I had Derek Knight. Chris Berry had a big day against the Buckeyes.
So the Mean Green forced to punt, and they got off a boomer all the way down to the 20-yard line. On the return, it's Ronche Jenkins, and the little fella squirming, trying to make something happen, and he's finally brought down at about the 22, but I think there may be a block in the back after a 54-yard punt. A boomer, only a 3-yard return, and then the penalty flag may set them back even more. The Aggies up against it.
Block in the back, and it's going to put them back the wind again with a good punt.
On the return, illegal block in the back, the receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So Daryl Dickey has to be pleased with that punt coverage. Tony Samuel not as pleased with the way his guys were blocking for Ronche Jenkins. 9:52 remaining, second quarter, all tied up 7 apiece. We're going to take a timeout. Don't forget, coming up, we are documenting the conclusion of a college football career. We'll see more of New Mexico State tight end Alex Davis as he gets ready for his final game right after this.
Taco Bell's Fajita Grilled Stuffed Burrito. Sizzling marinated carne asada steak and tasty fajita veggies. Wrapped and grilled to go.
They should have gotten fajitas.
Nothing beats the sizzle when you think outside the bun.
Ah, there it is, the twitch of doubt. Common to anyone who fears paying too much. Fortunately, Helzberg Diamonds' value promise is certain to de-twitchify you. Helzberg Diamonds. Confidence comes in a burgundy box.
Ordering Dish On Demand pay-per-view is as easy as picking up your phone. Get the best new movies, sports, and events by calling just one number, 1-877-DISH-PPV. That's 1-877-347-4778. Or log on to dishnetwork.com/PPV and follow the easy step-by-step instructions. If you can't keep a phone line connected to your receiver, just pick up your phone or log on. Visit your pay-per-view channels and look for these great new movies available for the first time on television from Dish On Demand pay-per-view.
Attention, Station 13. Security breach in Corridor 5. Report. Station 19. Investigate Corridor 5. Attention all stations. Seal Corridor 5. Repeat.
Nikki Connors, the military taught her to kill. Now her target is terrorism, with a full arsenal of covert weapons, high-tech gadgetry, and a mission of personal revenge. Rogue Ops, rated M for mature.
It's really going to be tough on me. Tougher on me than I think it'll be on him. But I know he's, entering a new phase in his life, and it'd be great things ahead for him because he's had a great football career here, and I think he'll do fine, And it'll be me that'll be teary-eyed.
There were times it was hard to meet him after the games. Definitely the wins were the best times. But I enjoyed every game. I was a cheerleader.
Just go out there and play your regular game, and whether win or lose, I love you.
I'd like to say beat North Texas. Don't let them have an 18 seconds of the game.
Well, that is Alex's father there, and he wouldn't have missed this game for the world. Got the headphones on. I don't think he's listening to us, but he is paying close attention as his son is playing his final collegiate game. This is his 43rd straight start. And he is going to graduate on time. He's actually getting his master's degree in criminal justice, and he's got a bright future ahead of him away from the football.
You know what's neat, Eric, is he's going to graduate in 2 weeks, and you just said in criminal justice, he invited his coach, Kendall Blackburn, and his family to be present at the ceremony. I think that's what it's all about. You get a relationship with the players you coach, and this is a good situation for all these players.
Second down and long. Second down and 11 officially after a loss of 1 on the first down carry by Tony Joseph. This time, Joseph, again, not much there. And he'll bring up a third down. Heather Cox, what do you have?
Eric, a little bit more on the Davis family. His dad, Pat, is one dedicated fan. He's only missed 2 games throughout Alex's entire career. He's made the drive from Colorado here for 55 of 57 of Alex's games. That is dedication.
Yeah, Mike, we're not talking about a superstar. We're not talking about a guy who's going to go to the NFL Combine, who's going to get paid to play on Sunday. We're just talking about a guy who just plays football for the love of it, and the season's coming to a close.
I like what we have done tonight with Alex Davis. It gives people a different look at the players.
On 3rd and 9, pass over the middle, intended for Mr. Davis, and Pierce overshoots him, and they'll have to bring up the punt team, and the offense has really slowed down. Both teams have combined for just 1 first down in the last 8 minutes.
Now the problem for New Mexico State right now, punting the football into that wind. You got to, as Heather said, you got to keep get the low trajectory right here, because if you hang it up high, it's going to blow back.
Stephen Smith on for the punt, back deep is Johnny Quinn. Remember, he is kicking into the wind, so Quinn is on the 45 of the Aggies, awaiting this punt. Snap is high, kick is off, and Quinn calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 43-yard line, and that is where the Mean Green of North Texas will begin this drive after a 30-yard punt by Smith. We are in Las Cruces, New Mexico, Aggie Memorial Stadium. Alongside Mike Gottfried, I am Eric Collins. Glad you joined us here on ESPN2. And, well, the Mean Green came in known for their offense, Patrick Cobbs. And besides one run, really, Cobbs has been bottled up.
Yeah, the passing games, either team hasn't hit right now, and they haven't got it developed yet. Both running games are about what we expected, but the passing games, the two quarterbacks starting slow.
Could be wind related. We do have gusts up to 20 miles an hour here in the desert of New Mexico. With the pressure from behind, falls on the ground. Who wants it? The Mean Green jump on it, but a scary situation as Chris Snead came around the end with his hair on fire and knocked the ball away from Scott Hall.
I don't know if his hair is on fire, but Scott Hall's on fire right now because he took a hit. Anytime you run a play-action pass and get hit in the backside like that, and the Snead is going to strip the football, an alert offensive lineman recovered this football, but a good defensive call by the Aggies.
That's Snead's second sack. Weston Thagard is the man who fell on the football. Loss of 9, 2nd and 19. Ball back on the 48 now. In motion is Andy Blunt, and they throw it out to Patrick Cobbs, and Cobbs can't get his mitts around the football. A little slippery with the pass, and it'll bring up 3rd and long.
That was a big play right there, because Patrick Cobbs, if he holds onto that football, they'll mark it up here in the coaching staff that they're going to run that play again, because if they get this play caught, they got linemen out there, they got a chance for a big play. They'll come back to that play.
See if they come back to it real quick, see what they have drawn up for 3rd and 19. 3rd downs have been their bugaboo all game long, and now 3rd and 19. Well, the odds aren't necessarily with them. Hall drops straight back, over the middle. Great toss! Caught by his tight end, Andy Blunt. And on 3rd and 19, looking for a miracle, Scott Hall and Andy Blunt combined for one.
They didn't hear the odds were against them on 3rd and 19. They were chucking that football. And a good job blocking by the offensive line. Tight end lined up right here. It's going to go down the middle of the football field. Two deep coverage. And Hall throws a strike to Andy Blunt.
43 yards on that pickup. First down inside the 10-yard line. Ball at the 9. Cobbs with the carry. Checks one man. But brought down by Chris Snead eventually at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Chris Snead's having a very good first half. Here's the throw again by Scott Hall. 13 touchdowns this year, 5 interceptions. Puts this ball right on the mark.
Andy Blunt, known basically for scoring touchdowns, leads the team in pass receiving touchdowns, has 5 on the year on just 19 catches.
He has 6 career touchdown passes, only 22 receptions, so he makes the most of it.
Mr. 6. Here comes Cobbs on the carry. Tackle is made as he gets inside the 10-yard line. Shakri Shabazz makes the tackle. She'll bring up a
Shabazz
third
did
goal.
a nice job there because all of a sudden you're outside with a great running back, Patrick Cobbs, and Shabazz brings him down. He doesn't take the fake, breaks down. Now he grabs him around the shoulder pads and brings him down. That could have been a couple more yards.
So the sophomore Shabazz makes a big touchdown-saving tackle, and it'll bring up third down and 7. Third down and goal from the 7. Play clock winding down. Get the play off, and a little option action in the pass is no good to Cobb, and who wants it? Ball is loose. Aggies trying to find the football, and they can't get their mitts on it, and the Mean Green get the football back. They're going to push them under the edge of that field goal range, but the Aggies
opportunity to get this football, but everybody wants to pick the football up and run for a touchdown. Nobody secures the ball.
Jeremiah Imperial was the one who had the best chance of getting the football. Richard Glover was also there as well, but neither of them are able to just get possession of the football, and it's a loss of 26. This is going to be a 51-yard field goal attempt, and the kick is up, and no good, they're going to say. Just wide to the left. 2 consecutive field goals of over 50 yards have been no good for North Texas. So what should have been a great opportunity for Patrick Cobb and North Texas goes by the wayside, and we're still tied at 7.
Estate. Study with the best. It's the perfect place to plan your future.
For nearly 3 decades, the Sun Belt Conference has been producing excellence in all academic achievements and athletic endeavors. We also are on the cutting edge in our thinking as we move to become one of the largest and most exciting conferences in Division 1A. In addition to the number of athletic accomplishments, we aggressively promote academic and sporting behavior. We reach from South Beach to the Rockies. We are the Sun Belt Conference.
That sound you hear is the New Mexico State Aggies knocking on the door. They're on the 15-yard line, trying to go into the locker room at halftime with the lead against North Texas. And that's difficult to do. North Texas has dominated the Sun Belt for the past 2 seasons and change.
There's Jenkins. He's their big play wide receiver.
Pierce fakes the run, throws a little squirt pass out to Marcus Dixon as fullback. Senior from San Diego gets a couple and will bring up second down.
Yeah, it didn't take much time either because he got out of bounds, so they still have 43 seconds and 2 timeouts to work with. The eternity of time.
New Mexico State just 3-8 on the season, 2-4 in the Sun Belt. Last year when these 2 teams met, well, Tony Samuel's team was playing for an opportunity to win the Sun Belt. If they had defeated Daryl Dickey's club, they would have won to the New Orleans Bowl as the Sun Belt Conference champion representative. But they lost, and the winning streak continued for North Texas. The misery continued for the Aggies this year. Buck Pierce gains a couple up the middle. It's going to bring up a crucial third down. Evan Cardwell with the tackle.
And Sun Belt's a good football league. Gives them an opportunity to play for a bowl game. Wright Waters, very good, solid commissioner of the conference, has got this league in the right direction.
Timeout is called by the Aggies. Tony Samuel wants to think about a third down and 6 from the 11-yard line. Las Cruces, New Mexico, a little bit chilly in the evening. I didn't know it would be when I packed my bag a couple of days ago. Well, it will be warmer in Mississippi, Starkville, Mississippi to be exact, when Ole Miss takes on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State on College Football Thursday, presented by Panasonic. Ole Miss 6-1 in the SEC West, tied atop the division with the LSU Tigers. Nick Saban got his crew going great guns. But Jackie Sherrill's going to have his troops with something to play for. It'll be his last Egg Bowl as the Mississippi State University head man.
And if Ole Miss can win and get some help from Arkansas, you know, still a lot of things can happen. Eli Manning and Ole Miss, he's had a great year. I really believe he's carried that football team on his shoulders, and I really, as we look at the Heisman Trophy, you got to look at Eli. Very close.
You should see. We're going to talk about your Heisman picks in the second half as well. So we have that to look forward to. 3rd down and 6. Buck Pierce under pressure from Kennedy. And Buck Pierce around the end, close to the first down. We'll have to see if he got it. Finally pushed out by Jeremy Pearl, but close to the first down marker.
Was able to get around the Coke machine.
Oh, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds before he could push the ball close to the first down marker. And that's going to disappoint the faithful here at Aggie Memorial Stadium.
Here's Brandon Kennedy, number 92, the booger. It just can't get Buck Pierce's feet. I think it was a good call by the official.
So it's going to bring up a 4th down and 2, and another timeout has been called, this one by the Aggies, and this is their final one. 26 seconds remaining in the first half. Can't imagine that North Texas would have enough time to do anything when they get the ball back, but I guess Tony Samuel wants to think about what he wants to do here. Kick the field goal, go for it. What do you think, Coach?
Well, the win. I think the win is what he's looking at right here, whether he can kick this field goal. But I think you got to try this. I think you got to put points on the board when you get the opportunity, and you want to go in at halftime with the lead against the champions.
Well, the Aggies have a good field goal kicker. This is a chip shot. They get it. They're up by 3. You figure everything will be smiles and milk and honey.
Kick the field goal then.
But
right?
they're not going to do it.
No, they're going to kick the field goal. I don't care what they're doing on their sideline. They're going to kick the field goal.
Machinations is what they're doing. They're thinking about it. They're stewing. But I think in the long run, Tony Samuel, I think he's going to go for it. We shall see.
I think he's kicking the field goal.
He's
now,
ruminating as we speak. What would Tom Osborne do?
He'd kick the field
Osborne,
goal.
of course, is his mentor in Lincoln for so many years. He was an All-American playing along the defensive line in the 70s to Tony Samuel. So he's a defensive coach at heart. But he's going to do something that's, well, he will do something that's fairly straight-laced by the book, as he will kick the field goal. It's going to be a 24-yard field goal.
Every now and then you got to go by the book.
Let's see if they fake it again. That wouldn't be by the book.
No fake here.
Dario Agunyege with the field goal. It's up and no good.
Should have gone for it.
From 24 yards out.
You were right. Now you got to kick the field goal.
Agunyege misses the chippy.
Field goal kickers are off.
And Tony Samuel none too pleased, but he knows that his kicker's a better instructor, I guess, than kicker. As an instructor, Dario Agunyege gave instructions just yesterday to our own Heather Cox.
Okay, Dario, I'm getting set for my first ever field goal attempt. Give me some quick keys.
All you need to do is keep your head down, follow through, take your steps, and that's all.
He makes it sound so easy. All right, let's give this a try.
Let's go. Just pick a spot.
Okay.
It's probably here, right?
All right.
Okay.
We will get back to that as bottled up as Patrick Cobb's nominal gain. I want to see if Heather's going to make it.
Okay. It's probably here, right?
All right.
Okay.
3 steps back.
Yep.
2 over.
Remember,
keep the head down. All right.
That's a pretty good kick.
Dario!
It went through. It wasn't pretty, but it went through.
It was a good kick.
Thanks for your help, Coach.
No problem.
Dario, follow your own advice. Heather did a great job there.
Heather actually made 4 out of 5 from that distance, and she is down in the field, not talking about kicking, but instead talking to the head man at North Texas, Daryl Dickey.
Coach, you guys have already clinched the conference title and a bowl berth. Are you at all concerned with your team's ability to focus in this game?
I don't think so. I think our team's playing extremely hard, playing extremely well. So are they. They've got a good football team. We knew that coming in. This is typical of the games we have with them. There's a lot of hard hitting, plays being made by both sides. We've just squandered a few opportunities offensively with some mistakes on our own and some good plays by them. And we got to go in and talk about it at halftime and come out and play very well to pull this thing out.
How much is the wind a factor, and what adjustments do you make because of it?
Well, we're sticking with our normal game plan. Both teams, we scored our only touchdown going into the win. So, but it is a little bit of a factor, mostly on deep passes. But I think both sides have moved the ball effectively into the win.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Well, Dale Dickey's Mean Green have won 7 consecutive games, 17 consecutive in conference. Our score at halftime is 7-7. Now let's head back to the studio for the college football halftime report and join Reese Davis and Bob Davie.
All right, Eric and Bob, you believe that perhaps, not just because they missed the field goal, but New Mexico State should have tried to go for it.
Well, I do, but first of all, I appreciate the compliment from Mike Godfrey calling me an expert analyst. But that's still going to not soften the blow of the fact he never threw me the football when he was the offensive coordinator and coached me at Youngstown State. But to analyze this game, I think if you're New Mexico State, the underdog, a 3-8 team, you have to take advantage of opportunities. Reese, they had a chance to run a fumble back for a touchdown, didn't take advantage of it. Had a chance to maybe go for it there on 4th and 2 at the end of the first half, went for the field goal, missed the field goal. The best advice now for Tony Samuel, suit Heather Cox up. Let her kick those field goals in the second half.
Katie Nida waiting to happen
Right
again.
up the road, New
Heather
Mexico.
Cox, yeah, Heather Cox could have her moment in the sun, too. She could be able to kick a field goal. She made the one before. We continue on the College Game Day halftime report. We'll talk a little bit about the BCS scenarios for the upcoming weekend, the games that are most important, some that might even surprise you a little bit, and also we'll talk about the coaching situation. This guy's certainly safe. He's just worried about trying to get into the national championship game, and all of a sudden things looking a little better for that gentleman, too. We'll discuss when we come back.
The ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package.
Well, we expected an explosive offense from North Texas. We haven't seen it. Has the defense been that good for the Aggies?
I believe that both defenses have played well, and they've kind of ran the first half. The sacks of the quarterbacks not allowing either running back to get started after they had an initial burst of yards. But the defenses have definitely taken over this football game.
Well, if you're just joining us, let's take a look at how these two teams got on the scoreboard. Well, early on, it was all Patrick Cox. He was sensational on their scoring drive. He had a 47-yard touchdown run, eventually pushed it in on 4th and 1 from the goal line. But then a fake field goal by the Aggies set up this Buck Pierce touchdown run. That was all the scoring we'd have. 7-7, a lot of sloppy play. When North Texas did get inside the 10-yard line, they threw the ball away, forced a 52-yard field goal that had no chance at all. And because of that, well, both teams have combined to get inside the 20, yet we only have 2 touchdowns on the board. So Patrick Cox and the North Texas Mean Green trying to get a little bit more, well, they want to capitalize more with their opportunities.
Really do. Both field goal kickers had some misses, and that's been the difference in the football game. Evenly played the first half.
Now the Mean Green will kick it off to begin the second half. Back deep, close to the goal line is Ronche Jenkins, and he hands it off. It's a reverse. Out across the 20-yard line is Chris Duncan before he is knocked down at the 20-yard line. That's where they'll begin. Let's go down to the third member of our team, and Heather Cox.
Eric, red zone efficiency has plagued New Mexico State all season long, and it continues to tonight. Coach Samuel says we have to keep our offense on the field. Defensively, he said Patrick Cobbs had some great runs. He has an incredible ability to find the creases, so we made some adjustments with our linebackers. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Heather. Well, let's see if the halftime speech was stirring by Coach Sim, trying to get his team to their 4th win. They won 7 last year, and they were, well, thought to be the second-best team in the Sun Belt coming into the season. Preseason poll, they were second, only to North Texas. Buck Pierce wants to throw to begin the second half. Flags fly. Pass is knocked it out of the arms. And it's an incompletion, but a flag is probably going to bring him back anyway.
Yeah, they're having a hard time with Booger. They can't stop him, so they're holding. Several times they've been caught for holding Brandon Kennedy, number 92. It's the only way they stop
the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Back again, you get bad situations when you're 1st and long.
So Tony Samuel, who was a great defensive lineman at Nebraska back in the 70s, knows a bit about good line play. He's got to respect the ability of Brandon Kennedy, who has shown us exactly what he's made of this evening. Inside, on the run, out to the 15-yard line, goes Tony Bostic. A little trickery right there, a little shovel pass forward. But Bostic swallowed up, not much going on. Well, if anything, the Aggies very consistent in the first half with their play calling and the results. They had 101 yards on the ground, 102 yards via the air. Mine 203 yards total offense, but only 7 points.
And Eric, last year they were 5-0 at home, so they like playing here.
Daryl Dickey likes playing here as well. He won here 2 years ago, a big game against the Aggies. Of course, last year's game was played in Denton. Ronche Jenkins, just a couple of yards on second down. It'll bring up a 3rd and long. Let's take a look at the first half stats. Coach, anything that sticks out to you?
Well, the rushing yards. North Texas only gives up 100 a game, and New Mexico State has 101 in the first half. You take those rushing yards in North Texas, and a lot of those are sack yards, the quarterback. But here's a big statistic. 1 of 6 on 3rd down for North Texas.
3rd down and 12. They need to get to the 32-yard line. Out of the shotgun, Pierce throws over the middle, has a man, it's caught, complete to Jared Quick. Quick with another long gainer right over the middle. That's the same play that was available on 3rd and 16 in the second quarter.
Well, you hit this point early in the game. You said they need 3rd and long to get the first down, and they seem to be able to come up with a big play again. Quick down the middle, got turned around, good concentration on the football. And that gets New Mexico State out of the hole.
Call it a gain of 33. Jared Quick had 2 catches, 1 for 30 and 1 for that 33. To the skies again and complete. The senior tight end, Alex Davis, with the sprawling grab.
Just working the big Alex Davis. He's 6'3" against the corner and against the corner route. He just runs out, breaks to the sideline. Buck Pierce with a good throw right here. You see him against the corner. Jeremy Pearl, who has an interception in this football game.
We've been talking about Alex Davis all evening long. It's his final game as a senior. We will have more from Alex Davis as this game continues. Right up the gut, the running play gains a couple. Eric Higgins brought down by the ankles. It's a gain of 2 to bring up a 2nd and 8.
Good play calling by New Mexico State. They use the run. They go back to the throw in the game. They use Alex Davis, the tight end, against the smaller corner. Pretty good plan here. Start the 3rd quarter.
We saw that Higgins averaging 4.9 yards per rush so far in this contest. Bump off the course. Came into today averaging 5.1 yards per game, or per attempt. 2nd down. Pierce running out of time, gets it over to his tailback. Higgins knocked forward close to the first down. And I think it's going to be a little bit short. It'll be 3rd with just a couple inches.
More and more you'd like for your quarterback to dump the ball off just like this. As Brandon Kennedy coming off to the sideline, looks like he hurt his leg. But you like to get your quarterback to dump it off to the back and let him make some things happen. It's like a toss sweep. You give him the ball, and now he works against linebackers and defensive backs in the open space.
There's some concern on that sideline.
It's a big blow right here, not only because he is a guy you cannot, North Texas cannot play without.
3rd and inches, and this is the type of play that Booger Kennedy normally influences.
Yeah, and his backup, Chris Miller, I'd go right at him.
Let's see what the Aggies decide to do. Pierce on the sneak. He's pushed from behind by his fullback, Marcus Dixon, and I think that enabled him to get the first.
Yeah, you know, you may raise a good point. That used to be a penalty. You couldn't help the runner. I see that more and more in college football, where the back hit the quarterback in the back and push him over. This is Marcus Dixon. Watch number 44 hit the quarterback and knock him forward to get the first down. Used to be, maybe it still is, helping the runner, and it was a penalty.
And he's a big fella too, 239 pounds. I'll take my job, journalism major.
Buck Pierce is back, sir, but because that 244 is in his back.
Wasn't too friendly, but it was effective. Pierce escapes the rush, gets it out to Higgins, and Higgins inside the 10. Another good play on the dump ball.
Best play they have right now, Eric, because they get the ball to Eric Higgins, and now all of a sudden you get him in a mismatch. I don't care what the linebacker is or what the corner or safety is. You get him the football out in open space. Now watch him. As soon as he gets that football, and he accelerates right from a stop and moves down that football field.
Well, this has been a solid opening drive for the Aggies. Come out of that locker room, playing like they want it. Right up the gut, gain of a couple inside the 5. It'll bring up a second down. Don't look now, but Buck Pierce has completed 10 consecutive passes. Not a lot of them have been down the field. He did that big third down. For the most part, the dinks and doinks have been effective.
Accurate and home. He against Arkansas, a pretty good defensive team. He was 19 of 26, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
That one interception was thrown in the red zone earlier in this game. Tony Samuel wants no mistakes this time around. Under heavy pressure, Samuel thought about the pitch, instead keeps it, and is brought down at about the 2 by Tommy Harrison.
You know, if you're on New Mexico State sideline right now, you're saying, well, they're stout up front, and it's hard to run this ball in here.
Buck Pierce is down. The quarterback, who has had the 2 concussions earlier this year, looks to be favoring his right thigh.
And we'll see if Dombrowski comes in for a couple plays. Now, he has a cracked kneecap. So you got 2 injured quarterbacks here. That's what happens, though, when you choose to run the quarterback. Now, I mean, option offense, you better have one in the bullpen because you're going to need him sooner or later in the season. And Buck Pierce has been hurt a couple times this year. He took a nice stick on this play.
He comes from a family of tough guys.
Yeah.
Their father was a big fan of the country and westerns, or the westerns, I should say. He named his kids Flint, Buck, and Dylan. So definitely a fan of the old Bonanza and Gunsmoke and that type of things, the tough old guys. But I don't know if Buck Pierce is going to be tough enough to withstand this. Looks like he's in a lot of pain.
Well, you were right first time. Country western, they were out of the country.
I thought that was all singing.
Yeah,
Pat Boone.
No, Pat Boone's not country.
He's not country?
No.
Am I showing my age?
No,
he's a crooner.
He's an expert. Like Bob Davies, an expert analyst, he's an expert singer. Here's Buck Pierce. Let's see if we can see where he gets hit. Looked like they rolled up on his knee. Tommy Harrison, number 44.
So Pierce being helped off. That means that Paul Dombrowski is the quarterback. He does have extensive experience on the year. Wants to throw for it. His throw is high. Flag comes down. Intended for Alex Davis.
Looks like Alex Davis. Now, we've talked about Alex, all the good things, but I think he pushed off on this play. They were going to get a pass interference. No. Yes, they're going to get it on him. He definitely pushed off on this play.
So the senior, desperate to get in the end zone in this final game, a little bit too aggressive with the hands.
Yeah, and Paul Dombrowski, a lot of times your quarterback needs to be thrown on the sidelines. Perfect example.
Pass interference on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay third down.
Perfect example. You got to have the quarterback ready to go. Watch number 89 push off right there. Not much of a push, but it is a push. There's right there the flag. Jeremy Pearl would say, hey, he pushed off a lot.
Well, Mike, we talked about it. In the first half, both teams combined to get inside the 25 times, yet because of 3 missed field goals, only 2 touchdowns were scored. And now it looks like we made the same thing. All the way back out to the 17, go the Aggies. And Dombrowski's going to be forced to throw it. On the rollout left side, and he throws, but it's incomplete, batted away by Jonas Buckles. Dombrowski misses on his first couple of passes, and that'll bring out the field goal unit for the Aggies.
Eric Higgins was wide open, but Dombrowski was moving to the left, and you couldn't throw back against his body to the backside, but if he could have, Higgins would have easily scored.
35-yard field goal attempt for Dario Aganyege. He is the most decorated Aggie kicker since Roy Girella was using that right foot back in the 70s, and this one misses as well. So 2 times on kicks inside the 35-yard line, Tony Samuel has seen his kicker miss field goals. 2 huge missed opportunities for the Aggies as their senior kicker is off the mark once again. We're still tied at 7.
Where does reality end and pure vision begin? A Pioneer plasma display can deliver more than 1 billion colors, taking high-definition television to a whole new level. Pure vision. Only from Pioneer.
Machinery this serious is not to be taken lightly. So when you need to raise it, hold it, or move it around, one jack does it all. The Craftsman Motorcycle ATV Jack, only from Sears. With a heavy-gauge steel frame and fast-action precision pump to lift up to 1,500 pounds, all by yourself. And you can lift and lock your bike at 3 different heights to take on any job. The locking bar keeps your machine in place until you're ready to bring it down. Nice and easy. No doubt about it, this jack is into all kinds of heavy metal. Call now to order. On sale for $99.99. Save $20. The Craftsman Motorcycle ATV Jack.
For the Sears metal in your life.
America's #1 tool brand at America's best tool store. Craftsman at Sears.
Call now to order. 1-800-318-4141.
Old Navy Holiday Hotline. Eyes of blue. I'll connect you. Hot pink, I should think. Quit monkeying around. How about a little logo? Go-go.
That look is off the hook.
Yeah, and my shizzle's gone for zizzle.
Half zips make great gifts for the whole family. Just $10 to $15.
Buck Pierce has been loaded onto a cart. He has an air cast. And it doesn't look good. Hopefully, the youngster from Gasky, California, is going to be okay. With the ball, North Texas begins this drive, and Patrick Cobb, with a stiff arm, picks up more yards because he's able to get away from Matt Greibel. Out to the 36-yard line. Let's go down to Heather Cox, who has more on the injuries.
As you can see, Buck Pierce in a tremendous amount of pain. During the offseason, he had surgery on that left ankle. He has 2 pins in the left ankle. This time, it is his right ankle. They're calling it a severe right ankle sprain at this point. As you can see, they do have an air cast on it. They are taking him to get x-rays on campus, not here in the locker room, but on campus. He will not return. Now on the other side of the ball, Brandon Kennedy also has a left ankle injury. Looks like it's in the back near his Achilles. They asked if there was a pop. He said no. They've gone to the locker room to get him a soft cast. He's having trouble putting weight on it. His return is doubtful, guys.
Thank you, Heather. Great job. Well, on first down, Cobb's swallowed up. He has 94 yards on the evening so far, but these injuries taking their toll, and it will be a factor. Mike, make no bones about it as we play the rest of this game.
It is, Eric. I agree with you. Paul Dombrowski, the quarterback, now has to step up with Pierce out. Or Texas, first half, the drives that they had. But Paul Dombrowski, 3 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions for the sophomore. He has experience on it.
Second down at 10. Pitch out again. Cobb's getting a workout. Out of bounds. Across the 35-yard line. They're going to say he stayed in bounds, so this clock continues to roll. We're in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I'm Eric Collins, along with Mike Gottfried, Heather Cox. We saw a lot of activity early on in this game. First 20 minutes of the game, 2 touchdowns. But since then, well, neither team is getting their kicks. We've had 4 consecutive missed field goals. A 24-yarder, a 35-yarder, and then 2 50-yard ones missed by North Texas. And, well, the scoring just hasn't been there. It's now a 3rd and 6. Really, offensively, New Mexico State has dominated the Mean Green of North Texas. Not something that we expected.
Scott Hall needs to make a play right here.
Hall wants to throw it. Pocket collapsing, and he's just going to have to head down to the dirt. punt the football away and hope for better days when they get the ball back. Chase Spicer brings him down. It's not going to be a sack because he did get a couple.
And now we'll see what the game plan for the Aggies is going to change, or they're going to stay with the same things with the backup quarterback Dombrowski in. I think now you really want Eric Higgins to carry the football a little bit, if you're Tony Samuel, to give you a little lift, to give Dombrowski a little break here.
Back at punt formation is Brad Kazubar. He will kick away. Ronche Jenkins, who is deep, close to the 22-yard line. High kick, it's a good one. At the 15-yard line, Jenkins brought down rudely by the face mask. Michael Thrash, trying to bring him down by any means necessary, chose to use the face mask, and that's going to penalize the Mean Greens.
With Jenkins, that right away stopped him.
Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Just lucky he was not injured on that play.
Rashad Jenkins just 5'7", he's short enough, almost lost his head. Well, stick around when we come back. Mike's Coach of the Year picks. That's going to be unveiled. The envelopes are ready. Stick around, everyone.
Check Sam Blitz. Check that safe. It's on 2. Red 80, yo, watch the
Hey guys, meet the new guy. Hi, I'm Bob Holtkamp.
Hey, help yourself to some snacks. Speaking of which, you know what would taste good about now?
Yeah, a big, hot and juicy cheeseburger.
With everything. I can almost taste it.
Telling me, if there were a place to get a hamburger that good this late, I'd not only drive, I'd buy.
Really?
Wendy's classic hamburgers are made fresh, so they're always hot and juicy, so you can eat great even late.
You must be the new guy.
Yeah, thanks.
Wendy's, it's better here.
The holidays are coming fast, and so are gifts that go from your Honda dealer. All with straight deals featuring 0 down payment, 0 payments for 3 months, and 6.9% fixed APR financing for up to 60 months on any new Honda. Plus great values like the best-selling 350cc Rancher starting at $38.99 and CRF starting at $12.99. So you'd better get going before the gifts that go are all gone.
It's a blockbuster Friday doubleheader on ESPN. Cavaliers, Pistons, and Spurs, Lakers. Coverage begins at 7:30 Friday on ESPN.
ESPN2's College Football Tuesday. Brought to you by NikeGridiron.com. And by Wendy's Wild Mountain Chicken and Wild Mountain Bacon Cheeseburger. It's better here.
Illuminated are the mountains here around Las Cruces, New Mexico, and well, there's been nothing illuminating about either offense in recent times. For the past quarter and a half, there's been no scoring, even though we've had a bunch of field goal opportunities. We're still tied at 7 apiece, and we have a new quarterback in the game. It's Paul Dombrowski, who finished off the drive in place of Buck Pierce. And Pierce had to leave because of that injury to his leg, and well, Dombrowski almost didn't even play today because of an injury that he has suffered a couple of weeks ago. First give is right at the middle. Dombrowski's going to have surgery a week from today on his patella that is cracked. His kneecap is cracked, and so he's out for a while.
Really hasn't played much in 5 weeks. Coach of the Year. Okay, we'll start with the ACC. Chan Gailey, Georgia Tech, played a freshman quarterback this year. John Tenuta, his defensive coordinator, ought to get the Assistant of the Year. Big East, Rich Rodriguez, I've edged him out a little bit over Walt Harris.
We will continue with those. I already have taken exception to one of those.
Okay.
A little rollout, Dombrowski, flags fly. Has a man complete out to the 40-yard line, Alex Davis. So Alex Davis again continues to be a big part of this offensive game plan.
You
for
don't
the
wait
Aggies.
long to disagree with me.
I guess maybe I'm not allowed to. But
No,
I'd
you're
like
allowed to. No, I want you to. But you didn't wait long.
First couple, and the red flag went up. they're indeed going to call it against the Aggies.
Okay, what do you disagree on?
ACC, Chan Gailey. I'm not convinced
Oh,
Georgia Tech played as well as...
Oh, believe me, he did a great job.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
Okay, Lloyd Carr, Michigan. I could have done Glenn Mason, but Lloyd Carr's got his team playing in the best way right now. Big 12, Bobby Stoops undefeated. How can you argue with that? Conference USA, Gary Patterson, a great job. Mid-American, Terry Hebner, Joe Novak, Greg Brandon, Bowling Green. I could have taken any one of those three.
Dombrowski, the pocket collapses. Coach, can I go back to the ACC?
Yeah, go ahead.
We were talking about the ACC. It took a while to clear my mind. What about Bobby Bowden? Longevity award. He's now the all-time winningest coach in the ACC. Plus the fact last year they were under the radar. Didn't have a particularly classic Seminole season, but this year they're back in the top 15. They're playing Florida State football again. Georgia Tech, I'm a fan of Chan Gailey, but Bobby Bowden, what about roll time today?
That's a good point. Chan Gailey's my pick.
Well, we still have time. Maybe I'll convince you. There's Daryl Dickey, a man who's got a trophy case full of awards. Last 2 years, he was the Sun Belt Coach of the Year. But now it's a 3rd and long, 3rd and 11, and Dombrowski gets away from the first wave, but runs into his own guy. Ball comes loose, but they're going to say he was down. It'll bring up a 4th down, and nothing went right for the Aggies on that possession.
No, and you see the blitz. North Texas is going to come after Paul Dombrowski. They know he's got knee injuries, and they know he can't move around, so he's a sitting target back there. So you're going to bring the heat.
Well, the heat was brought, and the first 2 sacks of the day were made on this possession by the North Texas defense. Steven Smith is back deep, close to the 5-yard line to punt this one away. He will be punting into the wind. Johnny Quinn deep. He's at his own 45-yard line. Kick is away. It's high, and Quinn will be forced to fair catch it. Loses the football. 3 Aggies around it, and they say they have the football. Flag is down. Yeah. So this could be a big break for the Aggies.
I know there's no halo rule, but this New Mexico State Aggies are very close to him. Yeah, that's what they're going to call.
That's a killer. The Aggies and their fans thought they had an opportunity to cross midfield because of the muffed punt.
Interference with the opportunity to catch a kick. The kicking team, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Here's a replay. Let's look. Yeah, he stayed away from him, but he...
They're going to say that the cornerback, Jonathan Hollins, was a little too close on his coverage. Well, coming up, we'll have more from New Mexico State tight end Alex Davis. We follow him. Well, we're not going to do that just yet. Alex Davis is going to be someone we're going to talk about in a moment, but let's go back to live action. 4:32 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, and Patrick Cobbs is going to try the right side, and he dances out close to the 30-yard line before Jimmy Cottrell pushes him out of bounds. The flag again flies, and Mike, we're starting to see more and more penalties here.
May have been Sean Early right here for hitting him out of bounds.
To the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic.
And right now, with the way... Hey, he's definitely out of bounds now because it's hard to stop. But right now, this is a big key series for New Mexico State's defense because their offense is struggling with the backup quarterback, Paul Dombrowski. They cannot allow 7 here.
New Mexico State has already accrued 60 penalty yards this quarter alone. They have 103 penalty yards on the evening. Flips it out. Patrick Cobbs catches it. Can't do much of anything except for go out of bounds. Now they're going to say he was juggling the football, didn't actually make the catch. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, North Texas is usually the penalty team. They're averaging 93 penalty yards, leading the Sun Belt, but they've been penalty-free compared to the Aggies.
Final game for the Aggies. They're getting their money's worth in terms of penalties. 9 flags that have been enforced. There have been a couple that have been declined. 2nd down at 10, ball to 19. Scott Hall Fakes the handoff, wants to go to the sky. Has a man in the end zone. Pass a little bit too high. Intended for the tight end, Andy Blunt. But just a biscuit too long. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
A good coverage right here.
Exception of Matt Rival. Didn't start today because it's been a bit of a knee problem. Played the bulk of the game and good coverage on the tight. Yard line, 9. Down and make sure everyone's on the same page. Ball on the sidelines. Mike, let's use this time to get back to your coach's picks. Let's finish up that list, and I won't argue about the ACC anymore.
Chan Gailey's my coach here. Okay, Pac-10, no-brainer. Pete Carroll. SEC, Ron Zook, Florida. A lot of injuries down there in Florida this year at Gainesville. People getting on and off the wagon down there, the bandwagon, but they're on there now.
Do you consider David Cutcliffe?
Yes, David Cutcliffe, Nick Saban. I mean, there's a lot of choices, but when the ship's going down and you can ride it when you're 3-3 and you win out, I think Ron Zook is the coach here. Sunbelt, Daryl Dickey. I think Daryl Dickey is going to be up for a lot of jobs around the country. And the WAC, a guy that plays all 4 quarters. His team plays from the start to the finish. Dan Hawkins, Boise State.
Well, Daryl Dickey, we'd like to take our cap off to him, but he probably won't be taking his cap off. He had his hair cut down even shorter than it normally is, basically because he lost a bet to his team. He said, hey, if you guys win this many games and you go undefeated in the Sun Belt again, well, I will let you, if you win the Sun Belt, he said, I will let you guys do whatever you want to my hairstyle. And they said, we want the buzz. So that's why he's wearing the hat tonight. Not just keeping warm or stylish reasons, it's basically to cover up the haircut that's a little bit tighter than he'd like. 3rd and 10. See what the timeout was all about. They decide to go with the run, and it's a 6-yard game right up the gut, but it's still going to be 4th and 4.
Very good call. I like the call because they're expecting to pass. You try to hit your best back up inside. And now you set up the field goal. Somebody's got to make a field goal.
Somebody. Will it be Nick Basildua? He missed his first 2 attempts, but those had hair on them. A 52-yarder and a 51-yarder. This one is of a more modest distance. It'll be a 29-yard boot. As he's lined up just inside the 20-yard line. The lefty came up short twice when he attempted 50-yarders. Basildua breaks the scheme. We had seen 4 consecutive missed field goals, but that one splits the upright. And, well, paying attention to that is Agenya. He's struggled, missing twice from inside 35. But Basildua makes it happen. North Texas up by 3. 10-7 is our score. Coming up, stick around. We'll have more from New Mexico State tight end Alex Davis as he plays his final game of his collegiate career. Pre-game speeches, today was the last.
I know we've talked already with seniors. I thought you guys did a great job. You have a nice speech. And seniors, no, we're not going to talk tonight.
Yeah, we stand. Yeah, good ball. All for one. One throw. By myself. I ain't done. Good as up. How are you doing?
How you doing? 3, 4, 2, 3.
Well, Alex Davis has been a focal point of the offense, and this is his final game. He's been thrown to frequently. He's had penalties called against him. So he has had an eventful night here on a Tuesday in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And we want to tip our cap to all 18 of the New Mexico State seniors as they are playing their final game. Of course, North Texas, they still have another game on their schedule. They will play in the New Orleans Bowl as the Sun Belt Conference representative. December 16th, Daryl Dickey has taken his team to 3 consecutive New Orleans Bowls now. They won last year. They took down Gino Guidugli and the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Now, I know Heather knows about this hat. He's wearing this hat, and I know if you're at home, you're wondering, why is he wearing a gallery furniture hat? But that's for Mattress Mac, a North Texas grad that has taught Daryl Dickey about focus. He built his business, and he deals with Darryl, and so he's wearing his hat tonight.
Also covers up a bad haircut. Well, picking up a good chunky yards is Eric Higgins. Chris Hurd saved the touchdown.
You know,
Higgins has stopped and started a lot, but that was a good run for him.
If you win, you wear any hat. And if he wins this game, he'll have to wear a Mattress Mac hat back at the Superdome for the bowl game, New Orleans Bowl.
In the New Orleans Bowl, North Texas will take on an unspecified as of yet team from Conference USA. Last year they played Cincinnati. There's a bunch of teams that are being considered currently for the New Orleans Bowl, but nothing's been decided just yet. Run up the gut, and Higgins gets a couple. Brandon Kennedy continues to try and work out that ankle that was tweaked a little bit ago. I don't know. Do you think he's got a chance to come back, Mike?
No. When you look at him, pro scouts come into North Texas, and they look at him, they watch him practice, they say, Darryl, he's too small. Then they go and watch tape, and they say, well, he's not that small. You know, because when you watch him on tape, he does well. See back in?
He has made it back into the middle of the line. Spins around, tries to make a play on that one. Doesn't quite do it, but he was involved. Took up 2 blockers.
He is the middle of the line.
I want to ask you about Booger Kennedy. Everyone always talks defensively about getting below the pad level of the offense. He's short. How come he wasn't more highly recruited considering he's short? Why do you want a big defensive lineman?
Because I'll tell you exactly why. Darryl Dickey says now every coach in Texas has got a 5'8" nose guard. They call him and say, we got the next Booger. You know, and you can't have the next Booger. There's only one Booger.
3rd down and 5. Need to get to midfield. Dombrowski lassoed by Adrian Owasum. Thought he was getting away from the pile, but he's brought down by his shirt collar.
See, he can't get away. He's, you talked about he's going to have an operation on his knee in a week. He can't get away from anything. Rossamy makes the sack. See, just not capable of getting away from the rush. They'd be better to put him in the shotgun.
Mike, an amazing turnabout for North Texas. They have 3 sacks in the last 6 plays since Dombrowski came into the game. Obviously, his knee injury is a factor.
Yeah, and they've changed up their scheme a little bit, putting a little bit more heat on him.
Smith with the punt, low liner, could be returnable for Quinn. Doesn't call the fair catch for the first down on the night, and he pays for it. Brought down to the 33-yard line by Shukri Shabazz. Well, Feast Week presented by eBay continues with the preseason NIT semifinal. Utah, Texas Tech, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. Bobby Knight matches wits with Utah Utes coach Rick Majerus. And then Georgia Tech takes on UConn at 9:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. Jim Calhoun recently notched career victory number 650, and he has a stud in Emeka Okafor. And oh, by the way, Ben Gordon, he's not so bad either.
Now, Booker standing up on the sideline. He wants that ankle to start. He's going to pressure it.
Cobbs, good first down run. Busts it around left end for 8 yards. Matt Greibel knocks him down, bring up a 2nd and 2. And well, Patrick Cobbs has been as advertised. He's over 100 yards for the 9th straight game, Mike.
Averaging 150 yards, leading the nation. Got great vision, accelerates in the secondary, holds on to the football, pretty good pass receiver. He does it all.
118.
He was not recruited.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it. The nation's leading rusher was not recruited by anybody.
2nd down and 2. Does he have the power part of his game? Close to the first down, Tim Patrick on the stop. The only senior for the Aggies makes the tackle.
Eric, what happened, Patrick Cobbs, he came out of high school, 5'8". His high school coach, Fritz McMullen, waited till 2 weeks before the national letter signing day, and all of a sudden he said, nobody's coming after this kid. I'm going to call a friend of mine in North Texas, and I'm going to beg them to take him, and they did.
The Mean Green are happy to have him. We head to the 4th quarter. North Texas up by 3.
The ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. Call now to order.
In life, some things just shouldn't change. Your fingerprints, your retina, your very DNA. So why change your wireless phone number just because you changed?
As Ultra close, ultra comfortable. Guaranteed.
Donovan McNabb and his mom are coming to your home.
Hey, what's going on, Ben? Come on in. Where's the kitchen? Back here.
And they're bringing dinner. Campbell's Chunky Chicken Corn Chowder. Now heartier with even more chicken. Sure beats another frozen dinner.
One game before you go. I'm McNabb.
No, I'm McNabb.
Come on, Donovan. I'm always McNabb.
I am McNabb.
Boys, play nice. I'm McNabb. It's my house. I'm McNabb.
I'm McNabb.
I'm McNabb.
Have Chunky soup for dinner. Make it Campbell's instead.
Well, Buck Pierce made it back to the sidelines. All he did was inspire the troops to go 97 yards all the way down the field. Well, not all the way down the field, but far enough down the field to get the field goal to tie the game. A 49-yarder by Dario Agendiga. And it's a 10-10 tie with 4:28 remaining. And folks, if you're wondering what's up next, immediately after our game, we will head to Hawaii. The Maui Classic is on tap. It is Hawaii versus Chaminade. Chaminade with a huge upset win over Villanova just yesterday.
Always think teams miss a chance here when you kick off at the 50-yard line, not to bloop it up and try to get it inside the 20-yard line.
It would make sense. You have your defenders in that shortened field. You have the odds with you. Well, this streak is in jeopardy. North Texas has won 17 consecutive Sun Belt Conference games. The last time they lost in the Sun Belt, well, it was October 6th, 2001. The Louisiana Monroe. Daryl Dickey knows all too well that he has dominated this conference, but his team has already clinched the Sun Belt Championship. This game is really just icing on the cake for his team, but they'd love to win it. And Patrick Cobbs is going to try and do something about it. Cobbs all the way out to the 50-yard line before Cameron Wright can bring him down, and that's the way to get a drive started, Mike.
Cobbs is one fine back. Just takes his hole, but he has the ability, and I've said this before, you see him move there, he's good vision. Now he accelerates when he gets in the secondary.
Cobbs now with 184 yards on the game. That was a rip of 29 yards. He already has 3 career 200-yard games to his credit. Looking for number 4. First and 10. Pass complete. Out in the left flat, Janelle Branch. Good first down yard.
You were talking about Larry Fitzgerald, a great wide receiver in Pittsburgh, that Patrick Cobbs is ahead of him in the scoring. He's averaging 2 touchdowns a game, and Larry Fitzgerald second to that. But Patrick Cobbs, he may win the rushing championship this year and add to it. Tomlinson from TCU won it, Ricky Williams. So there's been some Texas running backs win that award.
Second down and 3 yards to go. They fake the handoff and brought down before the pass could get there. But no flag is thrown. Trying to get it to Jamel Branch.
Jimmy Cutthroat did a great job on this. He read it right in the start of the play. Nothing there. Now you get the 3rd and 2.
Looked to me like Branch may have been wrapped up while the pass was in the air. He's hog-tied.
Well, he is, but he still read it pretty good.
That's your style of defense, huh, Coach? All right, 3rd down and 3. North Texas is 2 out of 11 on 3rd down. They've struggled mightily on offense. They're 20 points below their season average. The give in, up the gut, and nothing doing. Aubrey Durisme comes in and wraps his arm around Patrick Cobbs, and that'll force up a 4th down and a decision now for Daryl Dickey, as Tony Samuels is pleased with the way his team has reacted.
What Daryl Dickey wants to know right now is how close is it? But I think you still punt this football.
Well, I think they may be going for it, Mike.
They try to draw him off sides. You got a back like Cobbs. You know, Daryl Dickey's thinking, why not? It's a long 1 yard, though.
This is a huge play. 2.5 remaining. They kick it out to their stud, and Cobbs gets the first down before he's brought down rudely. Gets it out close to the 40-yard line. That'll move the sticks with just over 2 minutes remaining and that may have been the play of the game.
Yeah, may have been. Tony Samuel on the other sideline knew if his team stopped North Texas, so he would have good field position around the 50-yard line, that Cobbs was able to get outside and pick up the first down.
Time now becoming a factor as we're down to 2:22. Well, coming up, Feast Week presented by eBay continues. Hawaii takes on Chaminade in the EA Sports Maui Invitational. That is immediately following our contest. Up the gut. That's Kevin Moore. Gets a couple in place of Patrick Cobb, who's on the bench. And they may need him before this game's done.
I think Cobbs is hurt. I'm watching him walk on the sideline. He's limping.
Gain of just one as Patrick Cobbs tries to work it out. He's close to 200 yards. He wants to get that, but more importantly, he wants the W. He's been a workman tonight. 33 carries. No quitting him. He's just 5'9", but he's all heart. Down to 1:42 remaining. They take the handoff. Hall wants it all. To the end zone. The throw way over the head of the intended receiver, Jamel Brandt.
Scott Hall's had a couple receivers open. That would have been a tough throw right there because decent coverage on that throw. But Ramon Flanagan, the offensive coordinator, keeps trying to get Scott Hall to hit one of those big pass plays to turn this game.
Another big third down. North Texas dealing with the 3rd and 9. They've only completed 2 third downs. He's converted 2 third downs. In motion goes France. They kick it out. They want to run for it. That's Cobb back in the game, close to the 25. They move the sticks. And that may be Katie bar the door. They may be in field goal range now.
Yeah, they're getting ready to pick up the hymnals at church here right now because church is ready to be out. But this is a gutsy call again by Daryl Dickey. Missed tackle again, but Patrick Cobbs is such a good running back. He makes moves in the as he's working down the football field. And he was hurt on the sideline, but they got him back in there.
He now has 204 yards on the night. That's his 4th 200-yard game of the season. Clock a definite factor. Cobbs up the middle. It'll keep the clock rolling. Do the Aggies need to start taking timeouts?
Yeah, they have to take some timeouts right here. They're not going to get a chance to get the ball back.
And they have. Clock stops. 49 seconds remaining. This man's starting to get a couple of butterflies in the belly.
Now, the only guy that's going to touch the football is Patrick Cobbs because he's going to set this field goal attempt up. If you're calling plays now for North Texas, you're going to try to keep this in the middle of the football field. Let him hammer away, see if he can break one, but you're going to get the ball in his hands.
Daryl Dickey thinking about it. 49 seconds remaining. We are in Las Vegas, presented by eBay, is coming up. Immediately following this game, Hawaii taking on those wonderful underdogs at Chaminade. Chaminade hosts that tournament for years. They've scuffled, but every once in a while they'll come up and fight you. And they took down Ralph Sampson in Virginia many moons ago. But they're doing it again as they beat Villanova yesterday to advance to the next round to take on Hawaii. But first things first, Daryl Dickey trying to make it happen on a 2nd and 6 and 49 seconds remaining.
Ball in number 43's hands.
Let's see if they agree. Cobb's the lone setback. They hand it to him. Up the gut. It'll be 3rd down and 2, and I'd imagine the Aggies will take another timeout.
We talked about this from the open. I said I was excited to come out here and see this football game and see Booker Kennedy playing Patrick Cobbs, and I have not been dismayed. This has been a very good football game. 2 well-coached teams, 2 good football teams that could play with a lot of people, and I've enjoyed this game.
What happens right now? You give it to Patrick Cobbs, it's going to be a 3rd down and 2. If you don't get it, you kick it right now. You feel confident in this guy who's missed a couple of long field goals. Kicking has really been the bugaboo for both teams all day.
One more play, run that clock down, make them use their last nobody's going to touch this ball but Patrick Cobbs.
And you say run him up the gut because you want to make sure
Run him
that
up the middle. Yeah, run him up
be
the
straight
middle.
on. Okay, you don't think about going out to the wide.
No, you don't want to put it on the hash, but you got to keep him inside. He's safe back because he holds on the football. A lot of people at home right now saying, kick right now. Don't fumble the ball, but Patrick Cobbs is a pretty reliable running back. You're going to give him the ball.
A sensational final drive for Patrick Cobbs, averaging almost 9 yards a carry. 57 yards to get his team in position for a big win and keep their 7-game winning streak alive.
I'm not sure I wouldn't even quarterback sneak it.
They run the reverse. Here comes Johnny Quinn, and Quinn sticks his nose across the first down line, and they get it. A little razzle-dazzle. Mike, maybe not what you have drawn up, but it worked.
No, Daryl Dickey, again, with a good call. You pick up the first down. Now you still can make New Mexico State use their last timeout. Now you get the ball back in the middle of the field, kick the field goal, and go home with a win.
Well, the final timeout is called by Tony Samuel and the New Mexico State Aggies. Let's go back to the studio. Reese Davis is standing by.
All right, Eric, and just as soon as you guys are finished, Michael Kugler, Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii, gets set to take on Chaminade, who beat Villanova in the EA Sports Maui Invitational yesterday. Hoops coming up in a matter of moments.
Thank you, Reese. Well, the Aggies out of timeouts. This man right here could be a big factor. He's the place kicker for North Texas. Taking a look at Nick Bazaldua. He is 1 for 3 on the day. He missed twice from over 50 yards. He made a shorty. Do you want to give him a chance, Mike, or do you want to just try and stick it in there and get the touchdown?
No, I think they're going to run the ball in the middle of the field and get him set up for what would be like a short field goal, extra point type play. And if you have any confidence in your kicker, you should go home with the trophy and the win and feeling good about yourself.
Tony Samuel, his troops, they have fought hard. They're running out of time, and they're running out of real estate to protect. North Texas has gobbled up a lot of yardage on this drive to get in the scoring position.
Nothing to be ashamed about either one of these teams. They've played well.
In motion goes Quinn, man, who just picked up the last first down. Pitch out goes to Cobbs. Ruhlman inside the 10-yard line. And because the Aggies have no more timeouts, the clock will run. And I think Dickey's going to wait until he gets down to a manageable time, maybe under 5 seconds, and then call the timeout. Coach, would you give yourself a little bit of slop in case you had a bad snap? Would you make sure you had enough time for 2 plays? Or
no, I just kick this, and like I said before, you expect your kicker to make this kick.
It's going to be
one thing is the angle is tougher now because you're on the right side and really close to the 5-yard line, so it's a tough angle.
It will be about a 24-yarder for Nick Bazaldua. This means a lot. I know the conference has already been wrapped up, Mike, but I think these guys do think about the consecutive game winning streak, about the conference consecutive game winning streak. They don't want to let this slip through their fingers.
No, and they want to beat all comers, and they want to go through this league and win every ball game and go into the bowl game on a high. Not so sure I wouldn't take a delay a game here if I could. If I'm Daryl Dickey.
He wins, and they do. No flags, and Bazaldua is mobbed. Daryl Dickey, very pleased because he's got a great running back. Tony Samuel, well, he's in awe of Mr. Patrick Cobbs, who was sensational in the final drive.
Patrick Cobbs, great running back. Daryl Dickey did a great job setting that last drive up. Give him the credit.
Well, our final score is North Texas 13, New Mexico State 10. Coming up, the EA Sports Maui Invitational. Sean McDonough is standing by in Maui. For Mike Gottfried, Heather Cox, I'm Eric Collins. This has been a presentation of ESPN College Football.